Hello, good evening. Welcome to ITV News. This is Wednesday night's calendar.
Yes, good evening. Here are tonight's main stories.
Help our children's hospices. The government's urge to head off a looming crisis, which could leave youngsters like Daniel without vital support in their final days.
How do you put a price on quality of life? And that's what it is to us. It's like, Daniel will never be fixed. So the next best thing for us is to have the fun and the laughter and the happiness, and what price can you put on that? There isn't one at all, none.
The game's up the moment police move in on an organised crime gang converting harmless replica guns into deadly firearms.
Got 5 there in just that short section.
We're at the North Yorkshire River, where experts are investigating pollution which has left hundreds of fish dead or dying.
90 not out!
And how's that for a celebration? We catch up with a true legend of Yorkshire cricket as umpire Dickie Bird pushes on towards his century. So hello, first tonight, they provide families with vital support and comfort in their very darkest of hours. But now children's hospices face a looming crisis which could threaten their very existence.
For the last 4 years, the government has set aside millions of pounds specifically to help cover rising costs like energy bills. Ministers have ruled that will come to an end next year. It's left the likes of Bluebell Wood in South Yorkshire predicting a black hole in their finances, and brought heartbreaking uncertainty for families about where their loved ones will spend the final days of their lives. Michael Billington has our main story.
He loves it. He absolutely loves it. Daniel's face lights up and he sees familiar faces, so coming here is like just an extension of our home.
The joy that 6-year-old Daniel gets from his trips to Bluebell Wood Children's Hospice is written all over his face. His family hugely values the support he gets now and the care they hope he'll receive when his mitochondrial disease ultimately, tragically, cuts his life short.
Daniel's a ticking time bomb. He may be here for 20 years, he may be here for 20 minutes, we don't know. So when that time comes, we know we've got good care that really will make a difference.
When we do come to that point, we want it to be like home. We don't want him to be somewhere that's very clinical or very, secluded or isolated. And hospitals are amazing. But the hardest thing for us with that is when you see a child going home. And we know we're not going to have that.
For families like Zoe's, you just can't put a price on the kind of care and support that they receive at places like this, but inevitably it comes at a cost. And while fundraising makes up a large proportion of what they need to operate here at Bluebell Wood, across the board the money set aside by the government for children's hospices can't be relied on forever. Ministers have decided that millions of pounds of funding ring-fenced in 2019 will come to an end next year. It's hoped it'll at least be handed to local integrated care boards to be distributed at their discretion. But there is no guarantee of that.
Yes, we understand that government have to be prudent, we understand that they have to cost cut, but government themselves have all made it very clear the set of standards that they need children's palliative care to follow. So yes, they need to cut bills, but in that same vein, they also need to protect the funding that is so vital to those families.
Well, I'd like them to look at the funding, this ring-fence funding, and make a decision whether they can go forward with it. I'd like to see further support on energy costs, for example, because that's just something that cannot be reduced in the case of hospices. They need to make a decision and they need to give hospices certainty.
More than £4 of the £5 million it costs to run Bluebell Wood every year is earned through fundraising. But Zoe says choosing whether to help plug the gap and pay for a child's comfort in the most difficult of times should not be a difficult decision for the government to make.
How do you put a price on quality of life? And that's what it is to us. It's like, Daniel will never be fixed. Sorry. So the next best thing for us is to have the fun and the laughter and the happiness, and what price can you put on that? There isn't one at all, none.
Zoe Darcy ending that report by Michael Billington. Now, we did approach the Department of Health and Social Care about the issues raised, but they've yet to respond.
Let's get some more of the day's news now. A woman's admitted murdering her husband in a violent attack at their home in Sheffield. Emergency services found 43-year-old Kevin Castor gravely injured at a house on High Hazel Crescent in October 2021. He died in hospital later that evening. CCTV showed Kevin's wife, 44-year-old Pauline Castor, stamping on him after an argument. She waited an hour and a half before calling for help, by which time it was too late to save him. Pauline Castor will be sentenced tomorrow after pleading guilty to murder.
Police are appealing for information after a 3-year-old boy was attacked by a dog in Rotherham. It happened in Spalton Road at Parkgate yesterday lunchtime. The youngster was taken to hospital for his injuries, where he's currently recovering. Police later seized an XL bully dog from a property on the road. A 42-year-old woman has been arrested on suspicion of allowing a dog to be dangerously out of control, and she's now been bailed.
An organised criminal gang which turned blank-firing guns into live lethal firearms has been jailed for almost 80 years. This was the moment armed police officers swooped on the gang, which had converted replica weapons in the garage of a house in Mansfield Woodhouse. Further investigations led to them to search several other properties where weapons were also being made and sold. 10 men have now been jailed for a combined 79 years.
Next tonight, the Environment Agency is investigating after a river in North Yorkshire was heavily polluted, causing fish to die.
The contamination's since been cleaned up, but those fishing in and around Richmond say they're worried the local ecosystem could be damaged for decades. Rachel Bullock has more.
A beautiful day, but an ugly job. Since last Thursday, Ron Wood has been clearing dead fish from the beck at Gilling West after a friend called him to say something was badly wrong.
I couldn't believe, what I was seeing. It was jet black from bank to bank, and as far as you could see, in both directions, and it was shocking. We got 5 there in just that short section.
Hundreds of fish were dead or dying. Pollution from further upstream, the suspected cause, washing as far down as Richmond.
It was a total fish wipeout.
Days of seeing the damage here clearly taking its toll.
Yeah, I love the countryside, full stop. We anglers are not just fishers, we're also, I think, custodians of the wildlife along the river.
The Environment Agency are investigating this as a pollution incident and have taken samples of water to assess the impact. But tens of thousands of pounds has already been spent to improve the health of this entire stretch of water, work now feared to have been undone.
Obviously it does undo some of the good work that we've done here, particularly when you've got vulnerable protected species like lamprey, grayling and trout.
Dr Marie Taylor is from the Yorkshire Dales River Trust. She's now leading the work to restore what's been lost here.
We're not starting from nothing, and we've already got good connections, and it's really important for iconic species like salmon as well, so we've got to really understand that wider impact, improving that habitat and increasing, its resilience.
How long will it take to get the wild fish population back to where it was before last Thursday?
It's going to take at least 5 years before we're going to get anywhere near, and probably longer.
A difficult but essential task. Rachel Bullock, ITV News, Gilling West.
Let's hope they get an answer to what's causing the problem. Now, next tonight, with spring well and truly upon us, the sun and the stars are becoming more and more visible each day.
Now, we're obviously in the midst of the Islamic faith's holy month of Ramadan, when Muslims fast from dawn to sunset. And tonight in Halifax, around 2,000 people will be breaking their fast under the stars.
A huge open-air celebration is taking place throughout the day that will climax later on with a special iftar meal. And our reporter Jonathan Brown's been getting a flavour of what's to come.
Yes, well, Ian, as you can probably tell, the crowds are beginning to swell here outside the Halifax Academy, and thankfully spring has sprung for them, although I have to say it is a little bit windy out here, which is why the bouncy castles have had to be taken inside for the time being. But as you can see, there's still plenty for people to get on with. There's clothing stalls here, we've got some sunglasses which might be needed, some umbrellas which probably won't, and there's also some homemade cakes over here which will be very important later on, because this iftar event is all about bringing people together. The idea is that Muslims that are taking part in the holy month of Ramadan will break their fast and conduct evening prayers here just after 8 o'clock when the sun goes down here in Halifax, and they'll also have an iftar meal provided by the Halifax Community Fridge Project, which is run in part by Mubasher. Mubasher, you've picked a nice day for it. Why is it so important people come together?
Yeah, I think we got quite lucky with the weather, but I think sort of the main aim, Johnny, is just to try and bring the community together, create a sense of cohesion, and just to try and bring the diverse community together, but just also to raise awareness for some of the projects that we do, and something like this is vital for that.
You talk about the community projects that you do, and you do a lot of work with food banks, helping people through the cost of living crisis. How important is that work right now?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're all struggling at the moment and stuff, so it's events like this and support from our local community is just vital for us to support the local community, those in need, and it's allowed us to stay open for over 1,000 days in some of the projects that we run as well, so yeah, definitely.
Fantastic, thanks very much, hope you have a nice evening. So the money that's raised here will go towards Halifax Community Fridge, and also there's going to be about 500 scouts here later on. Zahir is the chair of the local scouts group. It's about bringing old and young together, isn't it, this?
It is. It's really important, coming out of the pandemic not so long ago, and obviously in the current cost of living crisis. It's really important, and young people were disproportionately affected by the pandemic. So this is a way of telling people, of showing people that there is support out there. And we're living in a world of division, whether it's divisions along ethnic lines or religious lines or political lines. So it's really important that we come together and stand together as a community to show that we're going to overcome this current crisis together.
I'm sure it will. Thanks very much. Well, the month of Ramadan is nearing its end. The final day of fasting is expected to be Friday. What a way to mark the end of that month of reflection ahead of Eid this weekend.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks very much indeed, Johnny. And the weather there looking amazing.
Oh, absolutely amazing. Is it staying that way?
Oh, I'm so pleased for them. It looks really nice, doesn't it? I'm not sure about Friday, she says through gritted teeth, but today was absolutely gorgeous. If I just hold it from this morning, you can even see the ripples in the cloud associated with those strong winds that we had and that Johnny was talking about there. But running the satellite sequence, yeah, we had a little bit of cloud around first thing this morning, but into the afternoon, almost gin clear skies. And under those clear skies, some fantastic pictures. Combination of the blue sky and the blossom. So a big thank you to Sean for this shot. Weather photos at itv.com, and also to Ant in Sheffield. So yeah, the tree pollen, we launched that this week. So we are giving you the forecast currently for the next 4 weeks in the lunchtime and the late bulletin. So if it's high, which it is today and tomorrow, I need to tell you about it. Yeah, but you can see on Friday it goes down to low, and that's indicating something a little bit more unsettled. Now, towards the end of the week, we have the peak of a Lyrid meteor shower visible late evening on the 21st to the 23rd, and it's caused by debris from a passing comet. But I'm telling you about it tonight because the skies will be clearest tonight. So as we head towards Friday and Saturday, we're going to get a bit more cloud and it's going to become a little bit more unsettled, unfortunately. So if you want to look up tonight, obviously against or away from the light pollution, if you like. I've got a photo to finish off with. Do you want to see it?
Yeah, go on then. Oh,
it's a family day out in East Yorkshire.
Oh.
They've got all their little babies with them and they're taking a stroll in the sunshine. A big thank you to Pete for sharing. I loved it, so I thought I'd share it.
That is gorgeous, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
Thank
full
you.
forecast coming up.
Oh, too cute.
OK, time for sport now. And Sheffield United have 1 foot in the Premier League.
Zero Accounting Software sponsors ITV Regional Sports Report.
Yeah, Chris is with us, and a big win for Sheffield United last night, Chris.
It was nice to be sat down, by the way.
Yeah,
I see how the other half live now. Yeah,
It's much easier, isn't it?
It is. It could prove to be a massive, massive week for the Blades, all told. On Saturday, they have an FA Cup semi-final against Manchester City, but last night's win means they could well be competing in the Premier League with City next season. Ironically, it was John McAtee on loan from Man City who scored the only goal to beat Bristol City and move the Blades 8 points clear of third spot with only 4 games of the season left. Meanwhile, both Rotherham and Huddersfield picked up a good and what could prove to be valuable points in their battles against relegation. The Millers holding champions-elect Burnley to a 2-2 draw. The Terriers coming back from a goal down to equalise at playoff chasing Sunderland through Josh Karoma. Sheffield Wednesday picked up a much needed win in their battle to win promotion from League One. Goals from Barry Bannon and Akin Fama-Yetwayo were enough to beat Bristol Rovers, which was essential with fellow promotion challengers Plymouth and Ipswich also winning. Meanwhile, Barnsley's faint hopes of automatic promotion are possibly over after their goalless draw at Lincoln. Bradford City's League Two promotion hopes took a knock after losing at Swindon. Mansfield are outside the playoffs on goal difference despite their win at Newport. Doncaster lost 1-0 at Stevenage, and it's looking like Harrogate will be staying in League Two next season after their 3-0 win over Walsall moved them 6 points clear of the relegation zone. Meanwhile, in Rugby League, the Castleford Tigers have appointed Andy Last as their new head coach. The 42-year-old has been in interim charge for the past month, but has now signed a permanent 2.5-year contract.
Now, it's a very special day, isn't it, for one sporting icon from our region today, Chris?
Yeah, you're not wrong, Lara. You know, I think they pretty much broke the mould, didn't they, when they made Harold Dennis Bird, or Dickie Bird, to me and you. Now, he's been described today on what is his 90th birthday, can you believe it, by cricket legend Michael Atherton as the first and last celebrity umpire. Well, I caught up with a man who isn't just a cricket legend, but Yorkshire royalty. Fred Truman, what was he like?
Great man.
Was he?
Great man.
For Dickie Bird, Headingley is his kingdom. He can wander where he likes, when he likes. From the long room...
We had back-to-back championships when I was president. Yeah.
To the museum.
These are the 3 World Cup final medals.
And if you look closely, there's a little bit of Dickie around every corner. But time stands still for no man.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
90 not out, that's some innings, isn't it?
It is. The 90 years have gone so quickly. I remember when I did my first test match here. I remember I got here the first morning, I was here before the ground staff. It only seems like yesterday.
By his own admission, Dickie was an average cricketer, but a world-class and much-loved umpire. 25 years retired now, his legend hasn't been lost to future generations.
There you are.
Thank you.
Good lad.
And even though Dickie's now entering his 10th decade, he's got no plans to slow down.
I keep myself fit. I run around the golf course. I do exercises, and hours exercises as well every alternative day. And I find that's been a tremendous help for me. You know, since I retired, I've had a massive stroke. I have a metal knee in my knee. I have a pacemaker in my heart. So my body's full of metal, and I'm still going.
Do you miss this though, being out in the middle?
But you can't stop time. There's nothing you can do about it, so I don't worry about it, I don't bother, but I enjoy coming to watch. And I'll always come here whenever I can.
Would you like to be an umpire today, with all the changes, the technology?
I would that, because you've nothing to do. You could umpire a test match today. They don't look for no balls, they don't look for running on the wicket, they don't look for run-outs, they don't look for stumpings. They go there for everything. So yeah, I'd love it. I'd nothing to do.
Do you have any regrets, Dickie?
I regret that I didn't marry and have a family. And that is my one regret. I think I'd have made a good father, and if the lad had played cricket, say played for Yorkshire, you know, it would have made my life. But I give everything in my life to cricket.
Well, Dickie, we couldn't wish you a happy birthday without bringing you a cake. So here you go, from all your friends at Calendar.
Lovely. 90 not out.
A great innings from a great Yorkshireman.
90 not out.
There you go, new vocation in life for me, test umpire. He says I can do it, so he's the man who knows, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Wonderful afternoon I spent with Dickie. It's one of those moments you think, I'll tell my grandkids about that.
Yeah.
Fascinating bloke.
He's a
Wonderful
legend,
stories.
isn't he?
Absolute legend.
Yeah.
And you as well spent an afternoon with him today.
I had a lovely time with him today, and it was an emotional event at Headingley at his 90th birthday celebrations because his best mate, Michael Parkinson, turned up, and it was just great to see him too.
He's an extraordinary human being. Quite one of the most remarkable men I've ever met. And he's the soul of cricket, basically. That's what he is. And he's remained true to the game. And I'm proud to be his friend.
Look at Dickie, just look at how well he looks for a 90-year-old.
Yeah, I know he's amazing. I still take a sharp single. More than I could.
I think he's looking well.
More than I could do. I've looked better, Dickie, and I've felt better. Certainly.
When you get to our age, Sir Michael...
Speak for yourself, I'm a young man. I'm a young man compared to you.
And would it be fair to say that he's a national treasure, like yourself?
Oh, I don't know about that. He's a treasure, that's for sure. And I've enjoyed our friendship, I really have.
Oh, do you know, what an honour to be in the room with those two. Fantastic,
Incredible.
what a day.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, just to hear them talk like that, just great company to
And
be
they hugged
amongst.
each other later, and there were tears in both their eyes because they knew it was a special moment. So we all had a tear in our eyes. Everyone
Two
who was there.
Barnsley legends there.
For a proper Yorkshire lunch of roast beef and
Oh,
Yorkshire
I bet
pudding
it
as
was.
well.
Look at you. Yeah, you'll be
Looking
falling
forward to my tea
asleep
now.
later. Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, thanks a lot, Chris.
You're welcome.
OK, well, let's catch up with Kerry now and the weather. Here she is.
Good visibility on the horizon. Tiri sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Hello again, bright and breezy across many parts of the region today. Good dose of sunshine for the afternoon, although feeling quite cool and not many leaves on the trees yet, despite these beautiful spring shadows to shelter us from that UV, which is that sun as strong as it is in late August. But cheers for the photos, weather photos at itv.com. As we head into the next couple of days, we lose any influence from the high pressure and that fresh easterly, and we look to the southeast for weather fronts clipping in, generating cloudy skies, outbreaks of rain, strong winds at times, and maybe some heavy and thundery showers as we head into Saturday. But in contrast, for this evening and overnight tonight, largely dry and clear. The winds becoming a little bit lighter, certainly inland. Maybe a little bit of mistiness over the tops of the Pennines. And it could get quite chilly and shelter overnight tonight, hovering at around freezing or just above. So a chilly, fresh start to Thursday. There Eastern times, 5:55 and 8:16. Tomorrow, it's a lovely day. It will feel fairly cool in that northeasterly flow, especially out towards the coast and over the tops of the Pennines. But it's dry and it's sunny. It will feel, though, into single figures across many parts of the region. Clear start tomorrow evening, but then cloud will develop. The fronts start to move in from the southeast. Spells of rain for Friday, stronger winds and cloudier skies.
Tiri sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
So there you go. My advice, make the most of tomorrow if you can, because it goes a bit squiffy after that, yeah.
Typical for the weekend.
Yeah, and it's such a lovely day today for Dickie Bird.
Oh, do you know, we really must wish Dickie a very, very happy 90th birthday from all of us here at Calendar.
Absolutely. Happy birthday.
Birthday.
I'm back with the late. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.